Hi guys, it's Miss Howington here. We are here at the Bogue Sound. This is part of the Albemarle-Pamlico National Estuary. So an estuary is where the fresh water meets the salt water of the sea. So back over here you can see the mainland, and that's where the fresh water is coming from. And then on the other side of the island, which you can't really see, is where the salt water is coming from. So we have fresh water, which is anything that has less than 0.5% salinity. So we have freshwater rivers entering the saltwater sea, and saltwater is any water greater than 30% salinity. And that is the main determination for what qualifies as an estuary. And so they meet together in this protected area, and that makes a really unique ecosystem, and it has a lot of ecosystem services. So you can see these grasses over here. So they provide a nice little sheltered area for little teeny tiny fish to go while they're growing up, so they can hide from predators, and a lot of crabs can go eat there, and a lot of shrimp find a lot of good food there. So these are great places that provide habitat for animals that we like to eat as seafood, and also animals that provide a lot of services like oysters that will filter out the water. So in an estuary we have both deep water habitats, as you can see here, so deeper water habitats, and also wetland habitats. And if you remember, a wetland, anywhere where the water table is less than 12 inches below the surface of the ground. We also have plants adapted to wet roots and soils developed in flooded conditions. And deep water is anything greater than 2 meters deep. So in an estuary, the biggest determining factor of where things can live is the salinity gradient. So the salinity gradient is determined by the distance the point you're measuring the salinity at is from the river, and the distance it is from the ocean, as well as depth. Colder, saltier water sinks, and warmer, less salty water rises. Okay, and then also evaporation. So if we take a look back at the estuary, there are areas where the water can get trapped when the tide goes out, and so in those tide pools, if the water gets trapped, the sunlight will cause the water to evaporate and it'll leave the salt behind, so it'll make the salt content of the existing water in that area even higher. So in some places, evaporation can lead to salinities greater, much greater than 30%. The salinity gradient and also the depth of the water, like we talked about over here with the wetland and the deep water habitats. So those two things will determine a lot of where different animals can live. So that is about all we're going to talk about for estuaries today.